TV. You're watching Spiritual Wickedness in High Places, Episode 3. So give thanks. Of course, I just made an announcement recently. Spiritual Wickedness, GMRNS TV, will be going live bi-weekly every Sunday. It'll be Sunday evenings. Still gonna lock in on time, but it'll be Sunday evenings every other week. Spiritual Wickedness, High Places. Or the aim of the show is to get you into the mind of the orchestrator once again. Once you learn to think like the orchestrator, learn what they're motivated by and what they seek to accomplish, and more importantly, why they seek to accomplish it, and the methods answering the how they're seeking to accomplish it. You get clear on those things and to soak them in your mind. You're able to dissect everything and see what's really happening, how it's being strategized against you, and you know the purpose. So it puts you in a better position to navigating through this world for the safety and preservation of you and your own loved ones around you and all the real niggas in the world. So that's it, man. Spiritual Week and High Play. This week, man, we got a good show. I'm gonna get on a few things. Cleansing the body, your temple, the mind, soul, the body. We're also going to touch on the U.S.-Iran war, U.S. in Revelation 2, chapter 2, verse 9, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, boys, and the U.S. versus Iran. You know, what's going on with that and how that ties to the global scale with the global economy, and how the world is changing rapidly right in front of our eyes, never to return to the former again. So let's start out this week, man. I just want to give a shout out to the Lord God, Jah Rastafari, so just for the guidance and the strength, Haile Selassie first, the power and the might of the Holy Trinity, manifestation to the black heritage, and give the power and the strength and the will to do what's right, what I need to do, particularly with my temple, my body. Excuse me. I recently just went through a master cleanse. If you're unfamiliar with the master cleanse, it's like a liquid fast, basically. It's more popularly coined by Stanley Burroughs, which was a person that researched cleansing and developed this formula that's popularized today, the master cleanse. So it consists of spring water, freshly squeezed lemon or lime juice, organic maple syrup, at least for me organic, people just say maple syrup, but organic maple syrup, and organic cayenne pepper. So, so pretty much like you said, water, lemons, maple syrup, cayenne pepper. And with those things mixed up, you're getting all your basic nutrients that you need to sustain yourself. Of course, you don't have any fiber. So what they recommend when you turn the master cleanse is to drink a herbal laxative tea. Or they suggest like warm water with salt, in the morning. But for me myself, I always do the herbal laxative tea. This is about my 6th time I just did it, and it always early on I was doing it. It caught better than maybe my first time of doing it with the herbal laxative tea. So I drink senna leaf, SENNA, senna leaf. I always call it like the natural X-lax. That's what I say. So if you have a problem with using that bathroom, doing number 2, a lot of people do is not regularly done. I recommend you drink some senna leaf tea. Just get you some hot water, boil it, get some loose leaf senna, steep it in preferably like a stainless steel ball, or a clean ball with the metal. Let it steep for like 5 to 7 minutes. Go a little more, but roughly that. And then you drink that, it's going to stimulate bowel movement and get that shit out of you, literally. So I just went on the master cleanse. I went on it for 30 days. It's the longest I ever went. Just like I said, it's about my 6th time I ever did it. It was just refreshing as usual. One thing I really love about it is the light feeling on the inside of your body because the more and more I live and being health conscious, like as far as all the way around, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, through the years, but recognizing that there's always levels that keep going up, and more experience you live, even myself, I recognize that, you pass from being strictly theoretical and conceptual on most things to really getting to understanding the full grasp of it and putting it more in life in a practical way in your life. So um, even me knowing that it did a lot of good for me. It cleansed your body out. I lost roughly about 15, probably somewhere between 15 and 20 pounds. And but you get that back if you pretty much start eating the same way. I recommend anybody go look into it. It's better, especially if you eat cleaner already. One thing I'm learning more and more that your body periodically needs organized fast to occur. You know what I'm saying? And cleanses. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might do like they like juice fast or tea fast or this type of. Well, basically, we're not taking in any solid foods, but I just recommend being able to do something to get a basic spectrum of nutrients. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You keep your exercise hard on it. I run and jog a lot, so I ran 5 miles multiple times. I do a lot of weightlifting, so it was no problem. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. But it is more of a psychological thing as well. It's in your mind too. Your body need a fast. Your body need a break. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why they even the term they call breakfast, which is really two words put together: break and fast. So like it's supposed to be the first meal of the day. So you typically are breaking your fast. Fasting when you're not eating, because technically, I mean, in real life, when you sleep, you're not eating. You're not eating physical food. So you're not eating. So when you get up in the morning, the first thing you eat, you're breaking your fast from overnight. You're resting because you didn't eat for so many hours. So your body needs a period of fasting. Typically, because most people, how we would learn and talk to live and how to eat and what we consider being food, it's a lot of poisonous, especially in today's time. Through the years, it gets more and more highly processed foods, a lot of fake shit on the shelves. And we're more accustomed to eating out of stores and shelves. At least people here in the West and other countries in the world too. But what you need to know is that all these bad habits that pile up over time, sometimes you may not notice, but you may be functionable. You might be like, I'm good, I'm straight. And you might be straight because everybody's body, honestly, what I find is different. But fundamentally, the physiology of men and women is universally the same. So there are several factors that come into it, how it play out, and what can affect one a different way than the next. But there is a method to the madness. So we grew up eating all these bad foods. They stack up on us. It gives you things like visceral fat. What I'm looking into more, which is basically like fat around your organs inside your body. It can help cause edema, which it help build up extra fluid in your body. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes your body is inflamed. It's all come from inflammation. So fasting, in particular with master cleanse, what it does is it cleanses you. Because the lemon is a cleansing agent. You know what I'm saying? The lemon is a cleansing agent by itself. So detoxing. You know what I'm saying? Like helping to cleanse the colon with the aid of a laxative, which is senna leaf. Your body need to cleanse, and when you cleanse, you know what I'm saying, like that, at least on a periodic basis, you get yourself a break of eating. Your body is able to, the immune system has a natural innate ability to heal itself, and when you stimulate your body in a certain way, combined with the psychology behind it, which is very important, because it takes an attitude of knowing what you're doing, being feeling empowered, that makes you get the full benefit out of this, not just a physical cleansing for your body, but it helps mentally and spiritually as well, being in the right place mentally, be spiritually motivated to accomplish that cleanliness. It's about purity. So cleanse your body out of shit. It helps get that extra shit out of you, that extra visceral fat inside of you. It helps fight against inflammation, because a lot of these things are just inflammation, bacteria build up in our body, and that's what's going on. So this is just talking about that. Lemon is a cleansing agent. The maple syrup has basic nutrients. Out of all the sweeteners that I know of that people eat sweeteners, maple syrup, far as it's the my experience, is the most nutritious, because with the mineral and vitamin spectrum that's consistent of like pure maple syrup, pure organic, you know what I'm saying, maple syrup. When you look into the health benefits and the vitamin and the mineral context, you know what I'm saying. Also the cayenne pepper that help destroy like free radicals inside of your body and other fuck shit. It burn out corruption. That's why it's hot. It heat up. Your body is already 98.6 degrees, how they call it, like technically, or average around that part inside. You tell somebody, you go outside, it's 98.6, they're gonna be like, damn, it's hotter than a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So your body already is a constant state of heat, which is necessary. The cayenne pepper help heat stuff up and it help burn stuff out of you, particularly when it's combined with these elements of the water, the lemon, and the maple syrup. You know what I'm saying? So go look into the master cleanse, man. In the pamphlet, you can hit our up on here too if I want. I can send that out to you. It's a cleansing thing. So also, I combined my master cleanse. I did some on the last back end of it. The last 3 days, I did a colon combined it with a colon cleanse with organic psyllium husk, like the whole husk. You know what I'm saying, from the seed, and also sodium bentonite clay. From a good source. You know what I'm saying, from what I found. When you get your bentonite clay, you're gonna want it either to be like gray, like a gray, a light gray, or tan. I didn't know that years ago. I used to do a bentonite clay and I used to get it in the bulk session from a couple of natural food stores, local natural food stores. Like, and the shit was white. You know what I'm saying? So I was under the impression that it was all white, but I should have known better, because all this shit that be white, it do with some type of bleaching, or it'd be like a lesser of a quality than the things that have some type of hue or some type of color involved. That's just a cross life too. Just how it should be. You know what I'm saying? So bentonite clay, you want to be like gray, silverish, or tan. So bentonite clay, it helps bind metals and toxins to it when they get into your system. It expands when water hit it. You know what I'm saying? As well, pairing it with psyllium husk, which also expands with water hit it. It expands out, and when you get this in your body, you drink it. As soon as you put water in, you want to mix it up fast. One thing I'm gonna do next time is get a whisk. So I suggest getting a whisk and mix it up as soon as the water hit it, because it expands. When you drink that down together, it helps to go in your colon and expand up the water. Go to your colon walls, so each one fill it up and help scrape your colon walls and push stuff out of you. As well, that's what the psyllium husk mainly is responsible for, and the psyllium husk is very fibrous in nature, so that stimulates bowel movement too. Bentonite clay helps to take out certain toxins and metals in our bodies. I don't know if you are aware, but there's a lot of poisons in our body. We've all been poisoned by the society, the modern society we lived in, by the powers that be, because they have another agenda. Again, this is spiritual wickedness in high places, and my thing is to typically try to put you in the mind of the orchestrator and what motivates the vanity and the lust behind the decisions. You know what I'm saying, to influence society and influence people and exploit and take advantage for the propagating of their own lust and vanity. You know what I'm saying? So, which is out of control. So all this shit helps. It cleans your colon out. It gets shit out of you. When you're taking the master cleanse, you're drinking fluids, straight fluids. So of course you're urinating a lot. You can do certain teas with it, herbal teas. I use certain herbal teas I was taking. I was concentrating on milk thistle for just working with the liver. You know what I'm saying? Because I did a blood screen recently, and I was seeing some liver enzyme that came back, at least on the labs, blood lab. It was a little high. So I was like, well, let me go on the milk thistle. Let me cleanse out properly too, because I was in the middle of my fast. And then just pay attention to your body. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. So one thing about fasting it, like, and doing a cleanse, it aids in rejuvenating one's immune system. You know what I'm saying? So, particularly, like, I noticed when I did my blood draw, like, my WB, it said WBC down. It was a little down. You know what I'm saying? Then when compared it was 3 months ago, so I was like, damn, what's WBC? I want to look up white blood cell. I know white blood cells are primarily involved with the immune system, fighting off shit in your body. It was like, so I looked up and researched, like, okay, if you're doing an extensive fast for an extensive period of time, can it affect the blood count of your white blood cell? And from several sources, sources were agreeing, like, yes, and they was breaking down why it gets low. But what it does is, like, when you re-trigger and go back to eating, consuming off the fast, consuming food, regular solid food, how you doing? It rejuvenates. It actually rejuvenates when you back eating. The white blood cells count rejuvenate. So that's literally how you get in a rejuvenation of your immune system. That's how it practically happens. You know what I'm saying? Because fasting and the cleanse helps you cleanse your body, and it benefits you in more than one way. So and it's all mental. Once y'all start, if you're not used to doing stuff like that, like the master cleanse represent, they recommend like 10 days coming out. When you look at Stanley Burroughs and Master Cleanse, you look into the essay or the pamphlet that's involved, they'll recommend a minimum of 10 days. But I know sometimes with some people that's like inconceivable. Even me, when I think about the shit I'm doing now and I do the Master Cleanse, like I was telling that, I don't know, saying I was telling my queen lady, like telling my wife, like, man, I never would thought I would be like this. Like I would ever do some shit like this. No, never. Like if a bitch told me like you gonna be fasting for 30 days or whatever, but I would be like, bitch, you crazy. You know what I'm saying, like that? Because I always looked at stuff like that when people, in my old mind thinking, I always would think about people that would do fasts and cleanses. They were like a certain type of people. Like, you know, so they more like the weirdo type. They're not living the regular way. They're a little more extreme. So they're doing all this stuff. Or they're more like religious or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not basically that, not the regular Christian shit that, you know what I'm saying, that we grew up on. So, but I see now that it's just really a part of the human being. If you look at the how the like humans through chronological time and diets change, and this is something old. This is an ancient thing about, you know. First of all, we overeat a lot, and we're eating a lot of food that lacks nutrients and minerals, but it's full of high chemicals that keep you hooked to eating. So your stomach is getting fuller, but you're malnutrition. You're malnutrition because the food you're consuming has very little nutrient content. You know what I'm saying? So it just being aware of shit like that, being aware of shit like that. The master cleanse, like it cleanses your body. You know what I'm saying? So it's wonderful, man. Like and you feel so light on the inside. Your abdomen area feels so light. Like you know what I'm saying? Like and it's a good feeling. It's hard to put in words. You know what I'm saying? But your insides, particularly around your intestine, your gut, like small intestine, large intestine, it just you can tell that it's empty. It's a break, and it feels good to get a break, and it's in your mind. But once you start getting it going, you drinking the drinks, you just drink the drinks anytime you're hungry. They recommend with the Master Cleanse, the Stanley Bureau's plan of at least 6 8-ounce cups of the drink when you make yourself a day. You squeeze it, you make it every day. So at least 6. I like to get mason jars that come with like 32 ounces. You know, so it's automatic 3. I mean, yeah, I mean, no, yeah, I think it's quart or 32 ounces. Either way, it got at least 3 cups you can put in 24 ounces. So you can pour your drinks in there. You can make it 3. So typically I would drink like 2 jars a day. Some days I might go into 3. You know what I'm saying? Even I noticed when I first started doing it years ago, I was doing like 3 mason jars like that a day. And that was like 9 cups. But lately, the last few times I've been doing mostly 2. You know, sometimes they spill up to that third one, but it's mostly been 2. And once you start doing it, you good. You just anytime you're hungry, do it. Like it's not a thing like you know. And I think it's good to be like be disciplined in your mind. I was watching videos about the Master Cleanse, even though I'm a vet at doing it. It's to keep you motivated. I'm reading, just certain scriptures tied into like purity and cleanliness, and getting that pure relationship with nature, like through your food, and how you were designed to live. You know what I'm saying? How the body is physiologically designed. You know what I'm saying? In the temple lined up with principles of righteousness. So all of these things play into it too. You know what I'm saying? Having a strong mind, being disciplined, and to because you want to live, you want to feel good. To do good things, you got to feel good. You know what I'm saying? To do good, you got to feel good. To do extraordinary things, you got to feel extraordinary. So that's a part of it. A part of that is paying attention to your body and getting off the regular way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like just eating the regular way how you think. And that shit ain't good. When you look into it, it ain't good. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Cause even like this, when you look at our relationship with food, particularly too, like we're overeating a lot. Like that whole idea about 3 square meals a day. What I used to think that shit was regular too, but honestly, it's more gluttony. We're overeating, and particularly when you look at modern food, how most people typically eat. You know what I'm saying? Like when they think it's food, because we identify these things as food just because we can put it in our mouth and chew it and swallow it. But just because you put something in your mouth and you chew it and swallow it, don't make it food. You know what I'm saying? So what we're eating, what we're calling food, there's a lot of chemical processing to this shit. High sodium, other chemicals that trigger things in your mind, like particularly we want to get down to the science of dopamine. You're getting a rush off of these foods. It's feeling good, so you can use it. You can become addicted to eating food like a drug. A drug is any substance. It don't have to be like a chemically created substance in a lab like that. It can just be TV can be a drug. You know what I'm saying? Sex can be a drug. Of course, drugs can be a drug. Food can be a drug. Violence can be a drug. it's things that you, some sort of substance that you spark in your mind that excites you. You know, this chemical going off in your mind that giving you an excitement. So they're putting things in the food typically to get you hooked. Where you're eating and it's stimulating you in a certain way where you don't feel like you're full enough, like you want more. So you're overeating too. And one thing I do want to say in regards to the people out there that's more identified as like being overweight, whether you identify yourself as overweight or maybe society may identify you get treated like that, like like I want to tell you like that the overweight people, it's not your fault. Seriously, overweight people, you know what I'm saying, that are eating with overweight, it's not your fault that you're overweight. You know, you were taken advantage of. Honestly, what it is, man, you were born into the world just like everybody else. And people around you that are put in position when you came into the world to take care of you, they didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing, but most of the time they don't know any better. So they're giving you these foods from young, which get you stuck and hooked off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Once you get hooked on this shit, it's hard to break. You form bad habits. The food is very unhealthy, and it start fucking with you, working on you from you're young. So now you might be good sometimes when you're doing that shit when you're younger, but that shit can stack up and catch up on you. Some people not. They come out their gate because, like I said, everybody's body different. When you're doing metabolism, genetics, and your family, and all type of shit, how you structure individually. You know what I'm saying? Like you get hooked on these foods, and it's not your fault. You was set up. You just eating what you was given to eat around you. So you eating these shits. These shits are poisoning you. Um, you like them, you start to lust after them, you become off something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all can't hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah. So, it ain't your fault. You getting caught up. You getting caught up. You eating this shit. You thinking it's good, but it's not good. You know, you get stuck. By the time it's too late, you're overweight, and then it's almost like, this is what I mean by society and the powers that be, spiritual wickedness in high places. People that are appointed in these positions, you're supposed to be in a position to look out for the people that you're appointed by the people or elsewhere. Either way, you're in a position to govern people and lead them. But a lot of these people that are in power, they know the fact and the truth on food. Their families and stuff are not eating. A lot of these people, they're investing in these companies and they're making money off of you because it's about the love of money. You know what I'm saying? Not money itself, it's the love of money. It's the root of all evil. The lust and the vanity and the desire just to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And the most money and the more money you get gives you the ability to do that. Will make you exploit somebody else and don't give a fuck about their life. So these people in our society, particularly in the West, people are getting killed every single day by the thousand, getting either killed and taken off the earth, or slowly they're walking dead. You know what I'm saying? Getting eroded from the inside out. All this food, and a lot of people get overweight. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You got played. You got played by the people, the spiritual, the people in high places that are appointed to do shit. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I did a test. I gave myself. Say yeah, you can hear me. If you can't hear me, I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like you got played, you got set up. You got set up by people that put shit in these stores and put these products, and you're just eating and thinking it's straight. You entrust in society, and society misled you. And then they want to turn around and insult you and make fun of you and chew your ass at the same time after they set you up. And this is how this cracker shit really works. You know what I'm saying? That's why people don't know. Like, you can point your finger at somebody else like, all these bad things. But look at this shit, especially particularly here in the U.S. Look how the people they getting done. The obesity and the overweightness is out of control. And the same people that's sitting back chewing you and making fun, oh, you can't get this, you can't get that, you fat, you sloppy, you fat, slopped, like on this one, all that. But they gave it to you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Then they make money off you in the back end by all these drugs and products. So it ain't your fault. I know sometimes people be eating, they like, man, I can't stop eating this. I'll be exercising and all that shit. I just can't lose weight. And it be true. Because this is the food you eat in the way it's designed, you ain't supposed to stop eating that shit. They have shit in the food that keep you stuck on the food on purpose. That's what I'm telling you. It's not your fault. You getting played. So don't be so hard on yourself. I know it comes out of willpower to you, but I can't stop. But it's hard to stop because it's shit in the food to keep you fucked up on purpose. Your will and plus already how you growing up with lack of confidence, your willpower a lot of times don't be that great, and you just succumb to what you think. Like, what I supposed to do? I just like this, but you don't know that you got purposely tried. You got tried. You got put on that shit on purpose, bro. You can be made a guinea pig out of when you're overweight, and they can run all kind of medicine, medication on you, and do all kind of shit, and give you all these diseases and put you for stat. So I want to tell the people out there that may be struggling with trying to lose weight. They try so many different things, but they can't. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. Blame the people in the high places that are conducting the spiritual wickedness. And then use your anger and your upset to rebel against the miseducation and educate yourself and become and renew your life and renew your mind and become a renewing of the mind, renewing of the spirit to be a better version of you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard because it was designed for it to be hard because the food you're eating, they're chemically laden. They're laced with chemicals that keep you stuck on the shit on purpose to get you big. You got played and you got set up. You're not the weak. You just can't help yourself, quote unquote. It's a mind tricks. You got tried. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like this, what I mean by having a cleanse and having a fast can help break these patterns. You know what I'm saying? So check out the Master Cleanse. Check out Stanley Burrows. We're gonna get into some other shit tonight. I want to talk about next the U.S. and the Revelation chapter 3 verse 9 boy versus Iran. Now these boys done went over there. If you've been following Spiritual Wickedness High Places GMRS TV, I've been following the conflict, following the war in detail because particularly it was very significant in history and it's changing life as we know it right now. Particularly the hegemony position of the beast, the U.S. So we should know clearly now. I know the war is at a ceasefire right now, at least at this moment, because it's Sunday. It is, well, it's Sunday night, you know what I'm saying, April 26th going to Monday, you know what I'm saying, like April 27th, 2026. But as of this moment, Iran whooped motherfucking U.S. ass. The U.S. and the spiritual wickedness high places. My bad. The U.S. and Israel, Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, boys, the U.S., they got defeated. Iran defeated them. I defeated them, dog. You know what I'm saying? So these, it's a significant thing because nobody never seen a cracker get defeated militarily like this out in the open. Now I know this shit's still going on. I know some people might be like, well, it ain't even over yet. It's supposed to be just like kind of like a pause if you want to say something. That's true. So I mean, we shall see what it lies ahead in the future. But at this moment right now, it don't look like the crackers can do nothing. That's why you can tell they lost when they started saying they was gonna do a blockade because Iran was doing pretty much blocking the Strait of Hormuz. You know what I'm saying? How that was affecting the whole globe and the global economy. And the Iran boys knew, like I said before, like they looked at it and they was like, okay, we might not have the military, the exact one-to-one military power, technically like the beast. You know what I'm saying? But we can hit them like this and hit these boys like this and put pressure on their ass. So the strategy was, for what it's worth, man, was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Because, the war is real. It's life and death. People die. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can lose their life at any time. When you're committing out in the open like we're at war, people are going to die. So you have to take this shit seriously. So for them to take it, that's, of course, naturally take it seriously and read their hand and see what cards they can play and what strategy they can do and implement it like that. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. and even Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, boy, they can't do nothing. Pretty much Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 don't back out of it totally. They just going at Lebanon right now. Hezbollah, they doing that. Like primarily like the U.S. versus Iran. It pretty much been like that. And they can't do nothing with them. They can't do nothing with them. You can tell because now they start copying. They're like, well, y'all want to do a blockade? We're going to do a blockade. You showing your hand right now, bitch. If you doing what I'm doing, I know I got you. Like, bitch, you can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? They did all that. They went through that bitch, bombing shit up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, killing a lot of people, but at the end of the day, they couldn't pay. Even though I still had enough power, and they was like, y'all do this, we're going to do this. And everything they said they were going to do, they did. And so they know they not fucking playing, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, we watching them talk to, like, you know, you talk when you look at Secretary of State Peter Hegseth, when you look at the President Donald Trump, when they're talking to the media, you can tell like anybody got any sense. Like, I'm not even mad at them, be like, oh, they lying so much. They know what they supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they losing. They know that people are idiots over here. You know, you can just lie to people. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Oh. What else? What else they supposed to do? They're gonna lie to the people because they know that the people they know the people up top, the average quote unquote citizen, the crackers know they made them. They like we know how they think. They're not too smart. They know we can just tell them anything. They know that the U.S. has a sense of arrogance. That they really do believe like that. They're the best in the world. Like so seriously in their mind, they believe that with the arrogance. So they can just say this rhetoric to them and they're gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people gonna go for it. You know, they really think that shit real. You know, since they be just anybody in any sense that you know without even looking into detail independent media, you know they lie because they got a history of lying. Like that's what they do. That's not. We should not be appalled now at all the deception because they're professional deceivers. You know, spiritual wickedness in high places. In high places, they're conducting spiritual wickedness. They're using spiritual powers. You know, this is a lot deeper than what people think. So they went head up with these boys and they lost. Let's talk like this. This is why the U.S. in the Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, boys, are now starting to strictly hit civilian infrastructure. Like, example, bridges, hospitals, etc. You know what I'm saying? Now, as of late, of course, if you've been following the last few weeks, they've been threatening more and more like the power plants, talks of destroying the entire civilization, and more acts of malicious terror and destruction. You know what I'm saying? They were like, oh, we're going to have like Power Plant Tuesday, a Bridge Wednesday, or some shit along the lines of, you know what I'm saying, what Cracker Trump was saying. Like, so, but you basically saying, like, you ain't got nothing else to do. You're like, we gonna do all this shit here. We can't blow this shit up. They still find this. Like, we gonna do this. And they doing that some of that shit too. And they still ain't working. You know what I'm saying? Now you just gotta strictly, that lets you know you pretty much, if anybody got sense in the world, you lost. Look at the acts you're doing. You can't do nothing to stop the military. You can't stop them. They still armed. You can't disarm them. You know what I'm saying? So also we can saw other evidence of like what happened earlier. I think on day one, the early bombing of the young girls' school in Iran. I think it was in Tehran. They bombed the young girls' school. They bombed Jitnam school. It was a young children, young girls' school. They hit it once, killed like 160 something plus people in total. When you're talking about the staff and the girls. Then they hit it again. They call it double tapping. There's a lot of evidence of this from multiple media, you know what I'm saying, reported. They hit it once, they came right back and double tap and hit the shit again when people pulled up, the rescue efforts start pulling up. So they intentionally killing shit like that. These, by definition, we could call war crimes. Even though we know that really honestly, when it comes down and fight, you have to say that in war, there's all spirit, love, and war. Like, there is no real rule when it comes down to anything, really. That's been proven. So you fight and you really is out in the open and there really is no rules. People try to have decency and have rules of engagement, but in real life nobody gives a damn. You know what I'm saying? One thing we know about right now, what's going on and about the orchestrating, getting them out of orchestrating motivation, they're starting to come out in the open with shit more than ever. And I can appreciate that. They're not hiding no more because we have to know what's really going on. We got to see the real hideous nature of the beast. So they're coming out open like we don't give a fuck. That what Hegseth was saying. So we're not gonna play by the silly rules of war. We're not doing it like that. We're doing just boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So just like that. Also, what I want to talk about. Now they got some reports saying that Trump wanted a nuke. He wanted to drop a nuke on Iran. That's reports like that being talked now. Even though recently Trump came out, he said, "Yeah, I heard about it. No, I would never do that." But they playing psychological warfare too. They trying to do anything to intimidate. You know what I'm saying? They trying to do anything to intimidate. They're trying to do anything to intimidate them boys. So now he talking about, I'm gonna drop a nuke. I'm gonna drop a nuke. You hear about he said he wanted to nuke him, but they said, well, remember that General Kane came out and was like, nah, you can't do that. So how we know this? So somebody in there telling us like, I'm gonna tell you, I was in there. I was in there, man. Like Trump was talking about this, and Kane, raising Kane, and General Kane had to come over and tell him like, nah, chill, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that shit sound fake. You know what I'm saying? Cause why is that leaking out? You know what I'm saying? Like if it is true, bitch, somebody leak that shit out. There's all kinds. They could pick and choose and leak out. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's all psychological warfare too. Even if it is real, if it's not real until you do it, it's psychological warfare. You can threaten and say some shit like that too, just to see how you react, see how quote unquote your enemy gonna react. You know what I'm saying? So. So also, so yeah, they said Kane talked a lot of them. And when I speak about like shit like this, again, I gotta tell you, I don't know. I've said this before, I wasn't there. Honestly, what I'm doing is speculating, and like most people in the public, they just going off the reports you get. And so what I'm doing, honestly, is using reports I'm getting from different things and cross-referencing and putting together with my own sense of life and knowing how these boys work too. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a clear picture because I mean the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And even if you might see some shit being trying to be spin on you, know, so you always know there's another motivation, there's another material, and some material motives going on that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell you the story or not. I wasn't there. All I know is that I know these crackers be lying. I do know that. Like I said before, like that's a proven fact. You know what I'm saying? So also one thing is really big about Iran is given a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? How to defeat a military that was really perceived as being like, irrefutable. A military that was seen as being like you can't be defeated as far as the U.S. Everybody always say it's the greatest, it's the strongest military in human history, blah blah blah. But you just got a country that just went head up with this shit, and they still there. You know what I'm saying? Just recently, they said they supposed to have had talks in Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? Trump was saying that he had Jared Kushner, that's his son-in-law. You know what I'm saying? One of Revelation chapter 2, verse 9 boys, you know what I'm saying? And he had Steve Witkoff. That's what they said they boy name. You know what I'm saying? Shit sound funny, but he had them on pause. He was going to send them over there, possibly with the Vice President J.D. Vance to Pakistan to talk to Rasabachi, the foreign minister of Iran, and some other people in negotiation. But Iran already said we're not negotiating with y'all. Y'all doing that block. Y'all move that blockade. You can't threaten bitches until we're gonna negotiate. We're like, we're not doing the shit. So he came out like, yeah, we talking to him. We finna go over there and holler at him. Of course they was just lying. They were trying to manipulate the market because if you really look closer to it, there's been a lot of if you look closer to it, there's been a lot of inside trading evidence in dealing with Trump, in particular with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. They're manipulating the market, and there's reports of him making like billions of dollars off this shit too. Yeah, making like billions and billions of dollars off this shit. So they're manipulating the market a lot, and which is not surprising either. That's what these people do. You can't really get a gauge of like GDP of the they tell us, the S&P 500, blah blah blah. You can't really get a real gauge of society like that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Check some shit out, man. So, yeah, not bad. Good things still being here. Those who hear, like, so. Yeah, they up to some other shit, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Yo, hold on, baby. Hold on. So again, spiritual weakening in high places. So when I was picking up all that, like Iran, they gave a blueprint to the world. So right now, the U.S. is looking vulnerable. Like there's a lot of people that really sincerely believe that and really bought into this whole through the years. The U.S. This is the best across the globe. It's the shining, jewel of the world. We want to go here. It's the best way. They can't be this. They can't be that. They can't be beat. They just can't be refused. And they just showed, they gave a blueprint. Now I know specifically around this special situation, because their geography also too gave them an advantage. But the method and how they put the game plan together, they just beat the U.S. in the head up phase. And we will see what is left to come. Who knows what's left to come? But as of this moment, if this shit will never pick back up right now, Iran defeated the U.S. in a war. This shit is on record. Everybody in the world know it. The only motherfucker that really don't believe this shit, that really think this shit the other way around, is the crackers here. And the niggas that want to be crackers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Chicos that want to be crackers. They believe this shit like, no, they believe everything Trump was saying. Oh, you build, baby. Anytime you gotta keep saying you built the military, you built this, you built it, you keep doing saying the same shit over and over. People know you're not. People know that's a lie. They don't even sound like it. You know what I'm saying? So, shit like that. It does expose the U.S. military, the weaknesses of the U.S. military, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this new, technologically advanced era of warfare. A lot of you look at the methods of how the U.S. has conducted warfare, at least how it look. It's look outdated particularly because the evidence how Iran is matching up. But the drone production and the strategy to be able to use the drone is effective, but it's relatively cheap to build and compare to other, in particular the U.S. military weaponry. You know what I'm saying? It's effective, and when you have a game plan with it, and didn't use ballistic missiles as well, like they will pop shit off. Hold on again. sure I have that. So again, what I left for it exposing this a new era of warfare, and it looked like the U.S. shit was more outdated. Shit look outdated. They even started, they built the drone pretty much mimicking the Iranian drones. But if you look into modern day warfare, more far with the drone warfare, Iran is one of the global leaders. If not, some people argue the global leader in that, you know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't surprise me to see the U.S. build a drone pretty much mimic, I think it was called the Lucas or something like that, to mimic the Iranian drones. Um, so, also I want to talk about another thing that happened in the war, the so-called pilot rescue. You know what I'm saying? This shouldn't even sound right. That shouldn't even sound right. Because the pilot rescue, that's what happened. There's a lot of evidence that shows so-called pilot, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of presented evidence that may have been some type of ground mission with the intention of possibly seizing the Iran's enriched uranium. Again, this is speculation because we're not there, but it just certain things to point to it. You know what I'm saying? Things such as the ID of the U.S. personnel being found, you know what I'm saying, left over at the site where shit was going on in Iran, which they posted up on their media, you know, so their state media, I think it's called Press TV, one of their main media. They put it up on that, you know what I'm saying? So when they looked into the personnel and people were speculating and saw who it was a woman. It was like, you know, she was more involved in like, her role seemed to be more related to some type of science expertise in dealing with maybe possibly uranium or stuff around there other than just this is a typical pilot or soldier, you know what I'm saying, because her identity was, you know, it went public. People was able to look into it public, you know what I'm saying. So it was reported that it was a big firefight between Iran and the U.S., you know what I'm saying, and pretty much the U.S. got a few planes blew up, some helicopters got shot out of the air, and the shit got fucked up to the point where the U.S. had to claim they blew their own shit up, you know, because they couldn't say that the shit didn't get blown up. It was destroyed. You know, and these planes, I think it was like worth like millions or billions of dollars. You know, they got destroyed. I think it was an Apache helicopter that got destroyed, and other aircraft that got destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So it was reports that it had been a big firefight, and basically Iran was already on that shit, and the crackers had to get the fuck up out of that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So when you see stuff like that going on, how you keep kind of spin shit and keep like coming with deception. And I know some people might be like, well, you just said you don't know, you weren't there. And again, I don't. But there's patterns you can recognize, you can tell when there's heavy deception going on. There's patterns when people speak, how they speak, the word, the jargon they're using, you know what I'm saying? All this shit play into part of the bitch. That shit don't sound. You know what I'm saying? So they lied about shit like that. They got their ass whooped on that shit and looked like they had to get the fuck up out there. Shit didn't work. Either way, that shit don't add up. They don't got that pilot rescue. Or you look at everything. I ain't really give you the details. I'm gonna say just go look up to what's reported, what's really being reported outside the U.S. media. Because the U.S. media can't do certain shit because everybody's scared to lose their job. The media, a lot of the people, these media be going on like maybe Fox, which I know pretty much they call it state media. Fox, BBC or NBC or ABC, or CNN, a lot of they can't really report the truth. You know what I'm saying? People that, some of them really don't know. Some of them just believe in it's regular society. They believe in everything President saying, Hicks is saying, McCain. They believe in that shit. There's some people that are real, there's real investigative journalism that know for a fact that that's not true. They just can't say anything because, no, I ain't gonna say they can't. They just choose not to say anything out of fear of their job. You know what I'm saying? So what you make it more that you know that you're spreading lies, you know you spread propaganda, you know this shit ain't real, but you're reporting on it and saying it's real. Like, that just to show you where you can go. People don't give a damn. Everybody just care about themselves. That's why I mean, like, there's really no even unity and continuity amongst here. They have similar objectives, but at the end of the day, bitches won't go out on each other to protect their own hides, their own ass. You know what I'm saying? So also, like I said, they don't implement a fake ass blockade. It's a fake ass blockade. They tell us they're blocking out. They're supposed to be blocking all the ships that are going to Iran, strictly Iranian ports, or coming out of Iranian port. I think they caught like one the other day. They said at least for them they sent calm and they claiming that they seized the Iranian thing. That's only seen heard and seen one. You know, they might have did more, but the shit ain't working. They said bitches pulling up and right through that shit all day, going to the Iranian ports, leaving the ports. That's just a fake ass blockade. Shit ain't working like that. But either way, they trying to do some shit. That's why they're like, man, move that shit out the motherfucking way. We ain't even talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. But just for the fact that y'all are doing it and mimicking them, that let me know you ain't got shit else to do. Like, you let me do this. You lost, bro. Just take your ass home. You lost. The U.S. lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. So, also, like you said, they try to conduct a fake ass negotiating meeting. Like I was saying, they were like Kushner, we finna send them over there, J.D. Van. They finna load up and go there now. Roger pulled up way before they came, and bitch before they got out there, bitch before they even said they was gonna go. They were like, oh no, we ain't going. Trump was like, man, we ain't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep going back before they call the phone. Bitch, you cancel the trip, or dude like, oh, we all gonna do? I ain't gonna be there, bitch. But Roger was like, I'm not gonna be there. You're gonna talk to yourself. You're gonna talk to the law. You're gonna talk to Ghost Man on first. But I'm not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So he went on to report that Russia and came back through it Pakistan on the way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he like, bitch. I ain't worried about that. The U.S. come, he like, man, I ain't worried about that Russia. I ain't talking to no cracker. You know what I'm saying? We cracker they basically, Iran's position is different. See, the U.S., everybody got their position in the U.S. But Iran is like, we beat y'all. Y'all can't fade us. We're the upper hand. We're going to dictate this shit. Y'all are losers. You know what I'm saying? So, you always got to look at the other position, the other person's position, or the other party's position that's involved in what's going on to get the totality of it. Even if you don't agree with it, you got to get their mind and see for it. That's how shit playing out. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to tell you all. Like, so we're not putting up on this. So all this fake shit they doing, all this shit, it's fake. It's just showing evidence that you got defeated, dog. Like, some people right now can't believe it. There's some crackers in there, they like, bitch, ain't no way we let these terrorist motherfuckers try us like that. There's no way we gonna let a terrorist organization, terrorist nation just try like, just blow them all up, kill them all. But that's just to show you that you so stuck. This is the epitome of wickedness. This is the epitome of wickedness and what it represents. You so stuck in your way, you so blind that you really are saying like you don't give a damn. You have no regard for human life. You will like destroy them, destroy everything about them. I don't fuck with them. We're better. We're the best. They're wrong. They're evil. They killing all these people. They're not killing all these people. And even if they were, the U.S. is again in no position to say that you're killing people every day. Just for poisoning them strictly to, I was just explaining earlier, to the food, and it's killing people, inflaming them, giving them terminal illnesses, cancer, kidney failure, and all these, diabetes and blood pressure, and all these other things spinning off of that. It's a created and engineered industry by way of a capitalistic thought, which is like Midnight said, a Fortune 500 concept. It's about a business model. That's why they even had a term like fast food. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about get in, get out. It's a time thing. It's not about the food they make, something you can just consume and eat to match the modern, quote-unquote, modern lifestyle, because it's built on your deceit. So you're killing people every day right in your country. You have no right to look at it. Iran ain't killing other people. They stopped 8 women from being hung and killed. They said Iran was like, Trump said, man, don't do that, man. But that's y'all they said Iran killed us. Like, we ain't gonna do it. So they respected me and my position. They didn't do it because of me. Like, they don't fuck with you. Everybody know that. Like, why would they respect you and keep threatening that you're gonna kill them and blow them up and blow their bridges up? Now they just out of nowhere respect. You think they're scared of you? They're showing not scared of you. So again, like, you can just read between the lines. I don't really get too offended. I'm like, it's more funny to me. Trump is more of a comedian. Trump is a professional comedian because all the roles of pretty much a lot of world leaders in these things. These are just actors putting on a role. They're not even the real controllers. They're being controlled by somebody else and some other entity. So I want to get into this as well. Like I said, they do this to their Western citizen base because they know that you're stupid. Like, to the average member of white society, and a lot of black society too, and people that they say of Spanish origin or his Spanish origin. That's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna say Latin origin. That think that what the U.S. represents is the positive and the good thing, the right way to do things. Like they know that you're uneducated. They know that a lot of y'all are stupid and you're naive because you're living a fake bubble life. So they tell you fake shit and you soak it up because you want to believe it, because you want to propagate yourself to be better than what you really are. You really have no skills. You're just a professional consumer. You know how to buy stuff and then you know to buy products and services. Other than that, you're useless for the most average person. You know what I'm saying? Like in society, the average member of white society, the average member of blind wannabe white society that's black. You know what I'm saying? Or people that are Latin, or you know what I'm saying? Like so, you go for that shit because you want to be that, because you look up to these crackers. These crackers really don't give a damn about you. You know what I'm saying? And so. But I do want to get into this, like, and talk about it. Like, this is what I mean by the example. Like, eventually, the victims of bullying throughout the years will get together in a name of exterminating the bully. What we're seeing right now with the Iran-U.S. war is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is a war season. You can tell what's going on. The U.S. is bad. They mad. They're embarrassed. They're looking bad. So they're going to try somebody else very soon. They've been already talking about trying Cuba. You know what I'm saying? And so I know Cubans right now, they getting ready. They trying, they being cool. They're still blowing people up, man. And on these boats, it's supposed to be in the water, and say they drug boats. They just killing bitches left and right. So now you see how it is with a bitch like, man, do that to me. You ain't gonna try me like that. Iran like, you ain't gonna try me like that. You can do all that shit, bitch, we'll fuck you up too. You know what I'm saying? That's why you better stay there. That's why the U.S. warships and the ships are so far off from the land, so at such distance to stay clear of Iran's ballistic missile capability for the distance it can travel. You know what I'm saying? So that shows it all, man. So, but this is what I mean by spiritual wickedness in high places. People will get together and they will join up against a bully. The book of Revelation speaks about this and the manifestation of what the beast is, particularly Revelation chapter 17 and Revelation chapter 18. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull it out. We're going to pull it out right now and get into it. So, right? We're going to pull it out right now and get into it, man. So. Revelation chapter 17, Revelation chapter 18, using this scripture in reference to show the relation of how the United States, their role in the book of Revelation. So you can see what the opposition's role is, you know what I'm saying? Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So, this we up to verse 5, we just complete verse 5, chapter 17. Right now you see the woman that sit upon the scarlet covered beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. On her forehead was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. See the cup she have on her hand, they said the Lord made drunk with the wine of her that's what we mean by these words are associated with just pure lust, wilding, doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what the mystery is. This is how it play out. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. This is supposed to be John speaking, because he's supposed to be credited with being the author of the book of Revelation. We're talking about in the Bible. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? Why are you marveling? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was, again, the beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. So this is what we mean. Like this, when you hear stuff like the beast that was and is not, but yet is, like it's been here, it been that, it was, but at the same time, it ain't. It's powerless. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but at the same time, it is. You know what you mean? There's always at the same time everything. It's powerless because you give it power. But it's real that it's like real danger, you know what I'm saying? Because the manifestation of the entity is through the collective consciousness of the people. But people join together to hold up these type of traditions that are rooted in wickedness. They create the entity, they create the beast power themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, she drank the blood of the saints. The saints are associated with the children of the Almighty. When you look at it scripturally, how it's talking about, so the persecuted the righteous are killing them, but they proclaim to be righteous. The U.S. proclaim to be right. They do pray and shit. They proclaim to be quote unquote the Christian shit. But we really know the nature of Western Christianity and how it's a derivative of Roman Catholicism. And then you'll know what it's rooted in and what the behaviors are really telling you about the identity of the people that are professing with their mouths these positive and or at least perceived goodly words, but the fruits of their doings and their behaviors will show you their real shit, their real self, character, you know. So, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. Here's the mind which hath wisdom. Let's get into it. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Remember, she was on a solid colored beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Now the scripture has said there's 7 heads. That's 7 heads. So they use 7. I mean, that's 7 mountains. What a mountain is like big heaps of land. It could be represented by being land masses. So there's 7 mountains. When you look at what it represents on the 7 continents of the world, these big, well-poured land masses. The earth is covered more with water than anything, more water. But you have the 7 land masses, the 7 mountains. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, what the woman said, verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So in particular, I know a lot of people are looking at that. Who is it talking about? Who is the 7 kings? Who are they individually? And that's to me, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you want to pursue the knowledge and put things together, find a particular if it's relevant and how you can get a clear picture, that's what you're supposed to do. You have a mind, search for it. To me, though, it's more significant of what it represents, because what things represent give meaning in life and help you able to put meaning in your mind by things and put stuff together in a puzzle. What this represents more than just being the individual identities. This is supposed to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? Certain leaders that come, say 5 for fallen, 1 is, and the other not yet come. So they come to continue a short time. So it's like phases of leadership. Just like you can have different bodies, but it's the same spirit because of the collective consciousness. So this is basically out of these seven leaders, seven kings. So many of them they've had their time, they fell. You know what I'm saying? And so one is not yet coming. Will come in a short time. So this is just leadership. When you see how the vibe switches and changes. You know, right now we're in a collective change. Right now we're in a conscious change of what's going on because there's a lot of shit in the world that people haven't seen before. There's a lot of distrust and uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? Like because people just have a lot more doubt because the world has changed so much that people don't know what to believe anymore. So there's a big shift what's going on. People have to be forced to look inward and trust in themselves, really, because that's what you have to do and follow that gut and learn to build a relationship with oneself. So right now we're in the midst of shift. And I'm only bringing that up because it's relevant. Because again, it's like five are falling. You know what I'm saying? One is and the other is yet to come. Like one is here, there's a time here, but there's something coming. You know what I'm saying? There's more times to come. There's different leaderships to carry on different agendas. Keep your eyes and your ears open. What it represents is more important actually than what it is or who it is. You know what I'm saying? So now let's say verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth. Remember it says seven kings, but the beast, it said it was, but it's not, but is the eighth. Even he is the eighth, you know, and is of the seven, and goeth into perdition. So he is the eighth and is of the seventh, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have power, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that's what I mean when people like this what I mean when real niggas say when it come down to the election and different people, it don't matter because they all have their power 1 hour with the beast. They have a time because it's a Babylonian mind frame, it's a beast mind frame, it's a mental and spiritual warfare. So they have their time with the beast. They just have their hour. It's a time period, but it's the same shit going on over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So verse 13. This is exactly what I'm saying. Verse 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Now again, it said, we'll go back to 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These are of one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. You know what I'm saying? These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now this is a manifestation of what we see in November 2nd, 1930, when Haile was to follow Rastafari King, then taking upon this Tawahadu baptism name from young as he ascended to the Negus Negasa Ethiopia, the head of the Ethiopian Empire, you know what I'm saying, of the world. And that's Haile Selassie first being crowned, you know what I'm saying, King of Kings of Ethiopia, Lord of Lords, conqueror, lion to the tribe of Judah, fulfilling the title and prophecy, you know what I'm saying, elect of Jah, Negus Zion, King of Zion, which was one that used to be a former official title, but as we know, it's still the title and the manifestation as it was. It's the reason why. So so we know that when we talk about the Lamb overcoming the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, we have somebody that was crowned these titles on November 2nd, 1930, Haile Selassie I, Rastafari. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have, John Rastafari and the children of Rastafari. You know what I'm saying? So, and they said a lamb shall lay down with a lion, because a lamb represents being sacrificed. Now he becomes the lion of Judah. The lamb and the lion are one and the same. When you're talking about the different spirits that rise up in you. You know, so you can't be a lamb just slaughtering no more. You have to be a lion to come conquer and take your rightful place. And stop letting these pussy bitches try you like that. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and the righteous man. So they made war, you know what what I'm saying? And the ones that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And this is what us Rastafari, what we represent. Because we took upon the new name of Revelation chapter 2 verse 17 and Revelation chapter 3 verse 12 and also reference in Revelation chapter 14 verse 1. It's taken upon the new name of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because we say Yahushua will have a new name and no man shall know it except the people that receive the name. You know, so they'll overcome. So you receive it, you are called by it. So those that are called by my name is representing Isaiah too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, his name is not God. And he's like, oh, you call God? What's up, God? Like, it's like the 5% of boy, like that. That's his title. You know what I'm saying? And not the Lord. You know, people say, well, Jesus. Nobody's called a Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You got to be called by that. He said, even in Revelation chapter 3, verse 12, Christ said, I will give you my new name. You know, so you're not called that. You're not called Jesus. People are like, don't call him Jesus. That's not him. You're not called that. That's not him. First of all, that's a fictitious character. Because, you know, and it's two different identities. We talk about Jesus being the white individual and Yahushua being the black individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's Jesus made up the real version, which is Yahushua, of the real nigga shit. A cracker was created. Caesar Borgia, like Killer Priest said, the second son of Pope Alexander. You know, we look into the historical reference of that. You know, so Caesar Borgia, also called Cesare Borgia. You know what I'm saying? Because they pronounce Caesar different. But let's get back to Revelation 17. Let's pick up verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest. Remember, because he saw waters. You know what I'm saying? It's a great water. And he stood up upon Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. The great whore who sitteth upon many waters. You know what I'm saying? So now the angel breaking down what the waters is. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, and peoples and multitudes, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the water just represents different people. And she's sitting on the waters like that's where she's sitting. Her influence is spread out over all these people. She's sitting on the people. They rest upon them. Her spirit rests upon them. You know what I'm saying? And she's represented as in this case, this thing of also being a whore, because of like what whore represent, like indulging in lust and defiling, like being lawless, just doing whatever with whatever, whoever. You know what I'm saying? So it's committing, like I said, fornication, various lusts, and wilding and drinking of the cup of fornication, getting drunk with it, and just doing wild and shit. Right now, people do whatever. They have no moral compass or anything, and people have been like that. Right now, it's at an all-time high. That's how I'm seeing my people. Now, the waters of, like you said, will sit in peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. So that's why you see the beast. That's just the woman, Babylon the Great. What it represents is the U.S. It's the beast and her influence, the U.S. influence over the whole world. That's why everything is westernized, and really people operate in a system of capitalism globally. You know what I'm saying? This is what it means. That's why they're able to use the dollar, what they call a petrodollar, which is being depowered, stripped of its power right now. You know what I'm saying? But this is how the backbone of society, the debt they can get in, the lustful and the wild and the luxurious living and the exploitation of the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So they control the SWIFT system, which is under Belgium, of course, in jurisdiction, but the U.S. in the SWIFT system, which is transferring financial over the whole globe. That's why she's sitting on all the waters and people. That's what that represents the U.S. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The 10 horns, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Because the scarlet colored beast now, 7 head, 10 horns, they start to hate the whore. They start to make her naked and desolate and burn her with fire and eat her flesh. They turn against her. For Jah has put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, and to the word of Jah Rastafari shall be fulfilled. And that's Rastafari. We say Jah Rastafari in the name instead of using the reading scripture, the title of God, because we know the name, what is deemed of God. So we have no reason to say God is the time we can give the name, because we know the name. You know what I'm saying? The name was written reading like this, it's coming from that angle. So to the words of Joshua, shall be fulfilled. And the verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. City is, of course, if you know, it's like a location, like a denomination of a location of a civil structure, governmental civil structure. That's what it represents, an area, location. So it could be interchanged with anything: a city, a town, a state, a nation. It's just a location where it's a structured form of it's supposed to be a civil society. You know what I'm saying? So a city represents a nation, people. That nation, that great city, will reign over the kings of the earth, which is right here. That's that woman she is. That what Babylon represents, a mystery. It represents the U.S. When we talk about Revelation chapter 17:5, and on her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. The mother of harlots, right here. The wives, the mother who showed the whole world how to trick with the harlot. You know what I'm saying? And fornication, abomination, to fornicate with the harlot, to get in bed with her, take up all her custom, do what she do, glorify her ways. That's what they do to the U.S. That's Babylon. And when you're looking at Revelation 17, you're looking at the United States. That's Babylon. Chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, come down from Zion, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the whole of every Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Every foul spirit, habitation of devils. You know what I'm saying? How every foul spirit, cage of unclean, every hateful bird. Every hateful bird. So basically a habitation of pure wickedness, uncleanliness. Don't give a damn, because purity is cleanliness. It just, when it comes to like the filth, the lust, the lawlessness, to do whatever, to abuse your privileges of life and exploit and take advantage of others, destroy, kill, make people lie to profit in service of you institute misery, confusion, and you thrive off of it, and you take advantage of it, and you allocate your funds to keep your propagating life. You want to link these people to work and do our work for you. That's what this represents, a habitation of devils. Unclean spirit, just the wildest shit. You're living in it while you're living in the U.S. and the West. This is the Babylon the Great what we're talking about. This is the United States. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. They got drunk with it. They drinking that shit like, yeah, boy, you right, boy, it's the best shit. We want to be just like the U.S. Modeling that shit because they thought this shit was good. They were looking at like, this is the best place in the world, the best car. But it's built on the back of exploitation and lies and bloodshed. But they know that they still don't give a damn. So they got drunk with the wine of fornication. You don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? All nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Trading, moving, so rich, like, because the U.S., the U.S., the people in the U.S., when they see the citizens of the U.S. are the best consumers. They buy all the product. That's why everybody come here and set up shop. They like, look, they gonna buy. They got money to spend. They gonna buy. We can make money there. All the merchants of the earth had to wax rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Again. And I heard another voice from Zion saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Basically, this is what we mean by the repatriation in the Exodus. This is the direct instructions. Because you know what Babylon represents. Come out of her, my people, for you won't be partakers of her sin. Because no matter if you're righteous in nature in your heart, if you stay and indulge to, you're going to partake regardless. You're going to partake of her sins, so you're going to receive of her plague. He said, come out of her, so you will be partakers of her sin and receive of her plague. That's why we have to leave out of the great Babylon. That's what you're really talking about here, that great city. We got to leave out because we're instructed to, because we don't want to just partake with the sin. So we definitely don't want to be receiving of the plague. You know what I'm saying? Verse 5, for her sins have reached into heaven, and Jarastafari hath remembered her iniquities. Nobody escapes judgment. The U.S. tries to be the first country, what I see, to escape their judgment, knowing what they've done. They're like, we're going to reign forever because we're just going to keep jumping out in front of how they see shit manifest. They jump out in front of it. But everybody, when you do fuck shit will come back upon you and you're going to have your day. So even regardless, even can try to prolong it and do all you want, but, you know, like they say, nobody can really defeat the hands of time and what has been witnessed by the collective presence of life to render whatever it is back fairly. That's what we lean on, to be fair in life. You know what I'm saying? Judgment, righteousness, and justice. You know what I'm saying? Verse 6, talking to his people. Reward her, even as she rewarded you. You know what I'm saying? You see that? You know some plus. She like, you know, she gave you some opportunity. Reward her, okay. We'll hook it up. I give it up. You know, in the U.S. you do get more opportunities, so you put in and do stuff to help you. As people, you have shit churning, it does. You just do what it do. It's rooted in wickedness, but you do what you do. So you might got some benefits you can take and use elsewhere. So that's why I say reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she has filled to her double. You know what I'm saying? Reward her. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she hath said in her heart, I will sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Basically, like, she said in her heart, like, bitch, I'm the shit. I ain't gonna see no bad days. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You know, that was what she said in her heart. So she glorified herself and lived deliciously. We were just talking about the debt, the trillions of dollars of debt by way of the U.S. Treasury bond, because people have confidence in society, so these other nations buy the Treasury bond, and then U.S. get to use that, and they put the dollar, the fuel, the oil system, the petrol dollar, so that people buy it in dollars. They buy from the U.S. and they get the money. The U.S. right back, turn it right back in the system. People doing shit. How they work with the Saudis and other people in that particular region that do a lot of that shit. That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So let me go. Verse 8, 18, verse 8. How much nigged out, baby? Nigged out, bro. You nigged out, boy. Grown man, real nigga shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check it out. GMRNS, that's what it is, baby. Nig started all this shit. You gotta be proud of that nigga shit, boy. Boom. Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned, with fire. For strong is the Lord God, Jarastafari, who judge her. So her plagues will come in one day. Some people thinking like one day. Oh, judgment day is gonna be one day. No, that just means in a short period of time. It's gonna happen fast. It's gonna happen fast. It may be decades, but we're talking about the spectrum of chronological time. That's like a day, a second. So basically, this is a measurement time. Like, it's gonna happen quickly, you know. And you can see how shit unraveling right now. More and more it's unraveling. People are just losing faith. That's how the shit open up for judgment. Imploding from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? So Famine, in verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and have lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Like, you crying when you see this shit, what's happening, shit's going on. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city. Babylon, that great city, that mighty city. For in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 hour thy judgment come. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by quick. Motherfucker look from far off and see shit happen quickly. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. But no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Who gonna buy your shit now? You know what I'm saying? That's why they sad. They just can't sell that shit. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all dyed wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood. Precious wood. And of brass and iron and marble. This is just so much shit. It just means a lot. This is what it represents is a lot. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And slaves and souls of men. I don't even gotta say none of that. If you don't know what it is, you ain't gonna never know what that is. Self-evident. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. The fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. And thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city. Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. So this is basically representing the world witnessing this. How they describe this about people standing from afar, the merchants, everybody see the smoke burning, and so quickly the world is witnessing it. They would never thought they would see as the U.S. literally pretty much gets imploded from their own works and influencing the outside too. Now, verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Like, what nation was like the U.S.? Like, damn, we never seen, like, if this happened and this, how would it happen here? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein we're made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costing us. We were made rich by selling our goods and spotting up there and putting limits. What? We can't believe it. The U.S. is going down like this, but we were made rich here. Boom. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For Jah Rastafari have avenged you on her. Rejoice, it said, over her. So what do you expect when you see some people be like you said, even people over there, they said people over there saying, oh, death to America, and all this stuff like that. They said, Ronnie, what do you expect when you read stuff like that? The scripture is telling you to rejoice when this shit happens over her. Rejoice over her. because you got avenged. It said John Rastafari had avenged you on her, Thomas the prophet. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So he picked up a rock, it said, and cast it to the sea with violence. That could flash it, the water going down. Like, imagine it's a bit like going down. So that's how this shit will happen with being seen and known and being taken down quickly. This is a comparison of what's going on. And you can tell how the shift is even happening. The unraveling is happening right now. The unraveling of the mind and the spirit. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for thy sorceries were all nations deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets, and of saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. So, in this time, people think prophets and saints, like that's the biblical time. But we're in a revelation time. This stuff is happening, or we're describing it. We're still in the biblical time, because Revelation is the book in the Bible. So that let you know most people don't even fuck with this shit. They talk like it, they don't even think this shit real. So this is the biblical time. So the prophets and the saints are still here. People that are seeing the message, people that live clean and saintly lives. What a saint represents of cleanliness and purity, living righteous. They're still here, but the blood of it is caught up into you. It's in Babylon. The blood, because she's killed and murdered and drunk in blood. So the blood of the prophet by that great city, Babylon. So Revelation 17 and chapter 18 clearly identifies the mother of Paul that Babylon as being the United States. The United States is going to war with all these countries, and people are watching what's going on. And people, like they said, they will join up and burn her with fire. These horns, the 10 horns, they set it up on the 7 mountains. The waters represent people. People will gather together and burn and go and help tear her flesh and burn and see her burning desolately. And some step fall off, saying, "Wow, we could never thought this we'll be seeing this day." So again, the most important, Revelation chapter 18 verse 4, when it comes down to the common and regular people out of society just living our lives, doing what we gotta do to get past this shit. Come out of her, my people, so you be not partakers of her sins and receive of her plagues. So we're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. What we see in the war, what we see even recently with the shooting, it's supposed to have been like a shooting with Trump, like just last night in a banquet, like some shots going off. They got images, Trump still sitting there when the shots was going off. They got images of a lady taking wine while this shit going. She leaving, she pulling out wine bottles and dipping. What I'm saying? Like, this shit is a joke, bro. Like, of course, I'm not even trying to get into it, but it was real or not. I mean, if you ask me personally, that shit seemed fake as hell. Bitches running up in that bitch with a gat, doing all that shit. Who the fuck knows? All I know is that I'm not getting caught up in that shit, and I suggest that you not be caught up in that shit too. If it did happen, cool. If it's real, cool. Oh well. If it ain't, cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that there's a lot of trickery and there's a lot of stunting going on with this media. So I always tell people, be skeptical first, trust your own gut, and if it makes sense to you, then it makes sense to you. If it don't make sense to you, don't try to make it make sense. That shit bullshit. It's fake. You know what I'm saying? So Revelation chapter 17, Revelation chapter 18 point to the U.S., the United States, of being the beast. And we know, because a lot of people even keep saying, when it comes down to them, this is an issue about the United States. People keep saying America, America, Americans. In reality, there is no nation called America. When you look at the registry of the list of nations to the United Nations or even globally, there is no nation listed on that called America. So you can't have an American unless you're saying an American is somebody that comes from any part of the whole landmass of even what's identified as America, from North America, Central or Latin America, down to South America. If that's the case, somebody that lives in Chile or Peru Brazil could be called an American because they come from a place of America. So it's not a nation, it's a landmass. So it's a falsified identity. It's not a citizenship. That's why it's called an American dream because it's not real. The country is not even called the United States of America. It's the USA. It's called the United States. When you watch representatives of this country speak at these, look at the United Nations, listen how they sign from the desk when they represent people that speak. It says United States. When you see international affairs going on, it says United States. When you see international sporting events going on, look at the World Cups coming up. When you see the U.S. play, it says the United States. When you see the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, United States. Ain't no America, ain't no United States of America. The country's called the United States. So this is another way how they're selling you a fake identity. So you hyping it loud America, we're black America, white America. There's no such thing as America. Because there's no such country as America. To be like American or let's say like Armenian or like a Canadian or like or even older days like a Canadian like a height, Canadianite. There might be some shit like a Mexicanite, you know what I'm saying? Or EAN like they said Judah or Judean. Like somebody when you talk about that when you say AN, you know what I'm saying, how you saying like American, there's no country called America. So how can it be an American? So you're displaced claiming this shit and you're powerless when it comes down to it in the real world. You know what I'm saying? You're getting deceived unless you're saying it does business as DBA. You be saying the United States DBA America. And if that's the case, that's even more credible precedence of how this shit is a corporation, not a country. You know what I'm saying? So this is a falsified identity. It's a dream. You know what I'm saying? When you're dreaming, you're asleep. So people are asleep, sleepwalking, and being deceived by astrology, wizardry, powers, ancient entities such as Moloch, Baal, and things of this nature. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Moloch, what that represents with the owl, that's why they have the Bohemian Grove with the giant owl and the burning, and the owl sees at night and it can turn its head 360 degrees. Like it's omnipotent, it can see everything around it, it can see everything. That's why they have the presence with the digital technology to be able to be everywhere, to see everything. You know, so we're talking about Moloch in relation to the owl. We're talking about Baal, Beelzebub. These are just all entities representing entities of darkness and lawlessness to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So you have no kind of structure being bound by the laws of nature, not bound and shackled, but to be able to be flourishing with your natural essence. So you're not satisfied, so you go looking for some other shit. So we're gonna sum it up just like this, man. Spiritual wickedness in high places, episode 3, live on Grown Man Real Nigga Shit TV. Give thanks for tuning in. Go follow real GMRNS on Instagram. Go to TikTok and follow at GMRNS TV on TikTok. And I'm the host on Instagram at Rastafari Realness, Your Highness. Keep your eyes and your ears open, man. Like this shit is real out here. And Cracker, you got your ass whooped. You got split, man. I know that's some shit I probably never would have thought to see, but I knew one day shit was going on. Now this shit, we'll see how this shit play out over the next subsequent days. And I'll be back with y'all soon. Now we tied in the clear identity in Revelation 7:17-18 is Babylon, the United States, the beast, the mother of harlots. Now you know what to do when you see that identity, and how to identify what's going on in society related to the guidance of the Scripture. Give thanks for your moment of time. Give thanks for the almighty power source, Jah, Rastafari, Haile Selassie first, and the Ghost of God said Ethiopia, the Lord of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, and the holy, chosen Empress Zero Menen of the Royal Ethiopian Empire, and what that relates to black people worldwide. You know what I'm saying? We give thanks for the guidance and the cracking of the code and the unsealing of the seals through the blessing of the seven seals, Haile Selassie first. Give thanks for your time. We're going to be back. Spiritual wickedness in high places. We out.